Welcome to an episode of Pathetic White People's Attempt at Racist Propaganda. So today we're going to talk about Netflix's racist propaganda. Did I say that right? Netflix's? I don't know. So, as you've seen in the title and on the thumbnail, I didn't watch the whole thing, but I started watching a show called Love is Blind on Netflix. And I watched it because it sounded interesting. I stumbled upon the trailer, and in the trailer they're talking about people dating, meeting each other, but not knowing what that person looks like, getting to know each other's personalities only. So there's a wall between them. They can't see each other. They can just talk to each other, and they get to know each other based on their personality, and hopefully that will turn into a great match, because you're not making lifelong decisions based on superficial things like somebody's looks. So I was like, well, that's pretty fucking interesting. So I started watching it, and the first episode was actually kind of fucking boring. So I wasn't going to watch it, but something happened in the first episode. I said, well, let me see where this goes, because I'm so used to watching jealous, inferior losers and their racist propaganda against black people, negative propaganda against blacks, that I'm always looking for certain little things. So I see something in the first episode, and I'm like, well, let me see where this goes and see if these people are going to engage in some more racism. So let me get into the show, right? So you got these, I'm going to talk about the races of the people. Obviously, I'm talking about racist propaganda. So you got 4 white guys, 1 Mexican guy, and 1 black guy. Then you have, 1, 2, 3 white women, a South American woman, and 2 black women. All right, and they're all talking to each other and trying to find out who they're matching with, and they all match up. Great. So obviously, if you listen to the numbers, that means one of the black girls is with a white guy, and the Mexican guy gets with a white woman, and the South American woman gets with a white man, and the black man gets with a black woman. All right? I hope I didn't confuse you. So these people they all couple up, and now let me get into the racist propaganda. So the thing that made me continue, actually, I didn't watch the whole thing. I watched the first episode. I stumbled upon the little secret, or the little tidbit that they decided to throw in there that made me curious. I watched the second and I believe the third episode, and then after that I was gonna turn it off, but I said, you know what, let me just fast forward through other episodes, because on Netflix you can fast forward and see the little thumbnails, so I could fast forward and see. I wanted to look for something specifically, and I'll go into that, what I was looking for. So as the story goes on, let me backtrack. So in the first episode, the thing that I thought was weird, or the thing that stuck out to me, is the black man, the only black man that they show in the show. He discloses that, well, I don't know if the girl's really gonna like me because I'm actually a homosexual, or I used to be if you're a man and you fucked other men, you're homosexual. I know that it's called bisexual, and to me, no, there's nothing. You're a homosexual. If you can engage in that, that's like another level thing. Women fucking women is one thing. A man fucking another man, that's a whole nother mindset. So I believe you're just homosexual. So he basically says, I used to have intercourse with men, but I'm looking for a woman now. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they found a way to sneak a black homosexual in the show. Everyone, what are you gonna do? So I'm like, all right, let me see how this racism plays out, of them trying to water down the black male image, and let me see how this goes. So it continues on. They all couple up. The black guy couples up with a black woman, and they decide to propose. That's one thing about the show that I want to mention. They talk to each other for a few days and then they propose and everyone's all happy. They're like, yes, I'll marry you. I don't know what the fuck you look like. I've only talked to you for a little while, for a few days. And the show is obviously fake. Scripted piece of garbage and a little bit of racist propaganda. So they decide that they're going to get engaged. They finally see each other. The black woman's attracted to the black man. He's attracted to the black woman, and they go on to like this early honeymoon, pre-wedding honeymoon sort of thing, where all the couples who couple up go to some place, I think in Mexico or something like that, and they're on this nice resort and they're hanging out, and the black guy tells the black woman, I used to ride the baloney pony. And she's like, oh my God, wait, I seriously, I gotta think about this. So she thinks about it. He's sad and he's like, oh, I'm trying to be myself and tell her the truth, but I don't know if she'll accept me. And you really discover that this guy is kind of a flower power, Fruit Loop butt plug guy, and he's really emotional and effeminate. He's kind of effeminate. He's really emotional, can't control his emotions, cries like a little bitch at the drop of a hat. And so he's crying like a little bitch. They meet the next day, and she's trying to have a civil conversation with him, letting him know, you should have told me this before you proposed so I could make a decision. And then he starts being a little bitch and complaining and whining. He winds up calling her a bitch to her face, so she gets up and walks out, and she's really upset, and they end the engagement, and their relationship is over. So the black man was just, this poor black woman, she meets a black man, and the black man is homo, and he's emotional, he's effeminate, and he's just not a good mate. Those nigger males. But the black woman who meets the white man, oh man, it's just marital bliss. They love each other. She loves him. He's strong. He's a heterosexual strong male. He takes care of her. He watches over her. He's just a strong man. She loves him. She introduces him to her family. I believe I didn't even see that part because I was fast forwarding through it. But basically, the black male was just, what I just described, a bend over buddy loser, and the white male was just strong heterosexual, dependable man who was husband material. Basically telling black women, well, if you're looking for a real mate, obviously you're not going to want to go with these guys because they're hiding something. They're hiding things. They must be homosexuals, and they're hiding it. They're effeminate and they're emotional, and they're not real men. So don't waste your time with them. Why don't you come over here and get with these white males? They're strong, they're dependable, and they're handsome. They have nice eyes. Racist propaganda. If you don't believe me, I mean, in the show, the Mexican guy hooks up with a white woman, and the white woman cannot stand him. She's constantly saying, I'm not attracted to this guy. I can't, something doesn't feel right. But she can't get over the attraction she has for this other white male. So even the Mexican guy is just like, he's just a piece of shit. He's not, white women are not attracted to him. He's not enough of a man. At one point, he discusses that he's not able to take care of her financially because she makes more money than him. And it's just all kinds of shit when it comes to the blacks and the Hispanics. But the white males, oh man, there's no question about finances. There's no question about dependability. There's no question about masculinity. I mean, these guys are just the top of the chain, according to this show. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this is some motherfucking bullshit. And it's racist propaganda. And I had to bring that up because I've seen a lot of racist propaganda on Netflix, and this is clear. I mean, out of all the black males that they could have picked for a show about heterosexual couples hooking up, they pick a homosexual kid. Out of all the men, they just happen to pick some guy who likes taking it up the backside. I don't believe that. I don't think that's just a coincidence. I believe that they're trying to push that message, that if you're a black woman and you're looking for a mate, do not go for these black males because they're not worth your time. They're not worth anything. They are nothing. They're not what you're looking for. So if you're looking for a mate, you go for these white males because these white males these are the people, these are men, and these are the people that you need to mate up with. If you don't get that from the show, then you're probably just a fucking idiot. I would say to go watch the show, but I don't want to direct anybody towards this piece of garbage. It was really just distressing to watch. Watching these people, this black couple's new relationship just crumble. And I mean, they start bickering, they're yelling at each other on TV like two niggers, two house niggers, just bickering in public. He's calling her names and she's insulting him back. They're throwing things. And then she has to walk off, and it just doesn't work out between them because they're just not compatible. He likes taking it down the backsides, and she can't deal with that. She's a dancer. So it's just these two people don't work. But the other black woman, when she gets with the white man, oh man, it's fucking match made in heaven. I mean, she's like, oh, I love him. They're talking about having children. It's just a match made in heaven. She's like, all the relationships I've had before this oh God, I thought all men were players, and I've never dated a white man before. Obviously, she's only dated black men, so she thought all men were bad because of the men in her past. That means she's saying all black men are bad. Now, to be fair, I'm trying to think. There is an older white woman who is a bit of a loser and a drunken whore. And no, she doesn't say anything really bad about white men. She just says that the men in her past, who knows what those men were, but even if you assume that they're white, she basically just says that they kind of run at the talk of having children. So that's not necessarily doesn't make them bad. It just means that the men don't want to have children with her. So no, she doesn't say anything bad about white males. So it's really just the black woman saying, you know, I thought all men were players, and so I've had a hard time of it, but now that I've met this white man, she doesn't say this white man, but the guy's white, so that's basically what she means. Now that I've met this white man, he's shown me what true love is, and I'm so happy. If that ain't racist propaganda, I don't know what is. So Netflix, I always say that I'm boycotting Netflix, but I don't give them money. You know, I watch their programs elsewhere. I can't tell you where, but I'll catch them at another service. So I'm not really into giving them cash. And the more I see these kinds of things, the more I'm going to point it out, and maybe black people will wake up and start to understand, you know, when people are spitting in your face, then you shouldn't reward them by giving them your money. Pull your money. Stop spending your money with them. If these people are showing you that they don't like you and they don't respect you and they don't want you around and they're trying to wipe you out, then stop helping them do it by financing them. So that's the end of that. I just wanted to talk about that because I just finished fast forwarding through it all. And the reason I was fast forwarding through it is because it was slowly being done, and the show hasn't finished yet, so I don't know what's going to happen, but I wanted to see what happened with the white woman and the Mexican guy, because all the other couples where all the white men are involved, they seem to be working out just fine. They have little hitches here and there, but you know, they seem to work out just fine. But the black couple was just complete fuck shit, and they just imploded upon themselves and just were gone. And then the Mexican guy, he ain't good enough. The white woman doesn't love him. There's this other white man that she just wets her panties over. She can't get over how much she loves this other white guy. But the Mexican guy she's coupled up with, she can't even look at him. She's not attracted to him. I think she actually uses the words, being with him just doesn't feel right. You know, like it doesn't feel right being with this non-white male. But the white male, boy, she just needs him in her life. So I guess that's it. I'm just rambling at this point. I guess fuck you, Netflix. And like I say, if you don't have something good to say about black people, leave us out of your shit. Stop including us in your stuff just so that you can fuck us over and send some sort of negative message out to people that black people and their relationships and their families aren't a viable thing. Well, fuck off. Let me just stop recording now, because if I don't, then I'll just keep fucking talking. Fuck you, Netflix.